What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Showtime is Blazer King with King's Critiques, and we're here for the first episode of Let's Go Kaikigumi. I don't know what this show 100% is supposed to be. Something about a high school student that encounters a ghost and then takes him into all sorts of crazy, zany adventures. But honestly, that's about all I remember from the description, synopsis, and it's much more fun just to experience things. This is one of the anime that's like flying under the radar this season, so I kind of felt like I wanted to check it out more than the other things I was tempted to. Because I'm running out of regular shows that aren't Yuri related to upload, like to be completely frank. So I figured I'd start recording another thing or two so I could like push out a little bit more. Like there's a few other things that aren't Yuri I want to watch this season, like season 2 Skeleton Knight in Another World. The first season was glorious, and of course I have to cover the second season. I'll do that soon. I'll probably connect it to the first review if it's still up on the channel. I did have to pull down a shit ton of videos last year because, that like 3-month period they ripped down my channel because their idiotic AI system. That's mostly a thing of the past. We know how to upload on the channel now, so YouTube doesn't constantly whine, cry, and bitch at me. So I don't need to bring that up anymore. Point is, this is horror, comedy, and animation looks pretty decent. So we're here to check it out. And by the end of the episode, let me know your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, one small caveat. Air conditioner's on if you don't hear it already, but even for 70 degrees, I started to kind of sweat a little bit, so instead of actually sweating on screen, I feel a little bit of air conditioner noise could be passed on for. And if it bothers y'all, I apologize. But, that said, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, let the whole video and get the watch time, because it's highly appreciated and helpful to the algorithm as far as I know. And let's get into it, shall we? I don't know why it says skip recap when this is the first episode, but whatever. Right? Right. Wait, did he just mention his parents talking shit to him? Listen, that kind of thought process is always dangerous. Because if y'all say ghosts aren't real, you're insane and asking for trouble. Like, ghosts are real. They could hurt you. Sometimes they won't. So, like, just don't do anything to piss them off, basically. Like, shit, even while talking about it, my goosebumps over my back of my spine are going up in arms, and probably because I actively am aware that there are ghosts of some kind or another around me at all times, have been for years, and, well, they haven't done anything too fucked up yet, so maybe they're just trying to, like, guard me from the curse my cunt of an ex-girlfriend, sorry, let me rephrase that, my ex-girlfriend's cunt of a mother put on me. Because I've said this time and time again through various channels. If I had the opportunity to punch one person in the face as hard as possible, it would be the mother of my ex-girlfriend. Because it wasn't my choice nor her choice why we're exes. It was that stupid fucking cuntbag. And, well, I would put her name on blast, but it probably wouldn't help me. I wish it would, though, because if I could find them, I would try to get back with that woman, and I would, the things I would do to her mother. Anyway, actually, correction, my guy. Women are scarier than ghosts. That's a factual thing. Also, remember how I said something about the animation looking good? Apparently I was, like, slightly off, but good is perspective also. This kind of reminds me of an anime from, like, 20 years ago kind of art style, which is not bad. It does remind me I also need to finish the dub of, Ghost Stories so I can upload that in October on Patreon. But, yeah, it's not the best art style, but it reminds me of my youth, so that makes it decent. And sorry if you hear my sipping a little bit more than normal. I do have my microphone here instead of over there, hoping that my voice like gets picked up more. Because the way I have to finagle with my vocals when I'm editing is like weird. Because sometimes I need to put it up, sometimes I need to bring it down, and I feel like it's easier just to like have the mic in my lap. So maybe that'll be easier to like moderate somewhat. Hopefully. Let me know if that's worked out, because I also did it for the last episode of Kimishino. Okay, so I'm also going to go on a limb and say this is like the other perspective than that Ghost Busters anime that's out right now. Like, that's on the super perverted aspect. This is just going to be on the super silly aspect. It feels like somebody is trying to sell me something! No. Oh, okay. He caught on to us, Jerry. Well, I'm glad we didn't have another anime where we had to see somebody shit themselves. The fact I had to say another anime puts that into an entirely different perspective. But at least I didn't have to show the red or black side that, like I did with Chainsmoker Cat on the orange side. And hopefully we don't have to see that here, because what the hell, man. Great. Now he's gonna get called a predator because he has his pants down in front of a girl. Crazy how life works. Okay, but why does she look kind of like the main guy from Gachi Yakuta? Like, expression, hair, eyes, face, the art style. She just kind of reminds me of the dude from Gachi Yakuta. I haven't watched that show yet, but tell me I'm wrong. I know a couple of you probably will, but like... So, this immediately kind of gives me the vibes of Vampire Dies in No Time. I also need to finish Season 2 of that. Lots of shows that I started on this channel that I still need to finish. Crazy how that works. And honestly, I appreciate that energy because the first season of that was actually really good. So I can't wait to see how this goes, actually. Yeah, honestly, I might shit myself too. Because, like, opening your closet door and seeing a woman in there in general is one thing. Seeing someone of any gender or any dumbass pronoun that looks like that and is staring back at you like that is terrifying. Now, I know he's probably just going to immediately close the door and pretend like he saw nothing. But, oh no, he didn't close the door. He did just kind of shit himself. Metaphorically, I think. The fact he just fell over with his pants off kind of continues off what I said earlier about possibly getting a restraining order or something. My guy, your pants were off because you thought you were going to be haunted into crapping yourself, so you took the initiative. Which really does not help much. Like, if that's a reason that's as deep as the ocean, well, shit, I wouldn't really want to know what's as shallow as a puddle. Yeah, he just told her the exact reason he had his pants off and realizes, wait, shit, no, that actually doesn't make sense. Also, I already love her so much. Like, that blank-ass fucking stare, and this is her reaction to being told to open up her ears. I love her so much already. Oh, or is it actually... Again, I didn't pay full attention to the synopsis, I probably should have. She's not the ghost, or a ghost, but she might be like a shaman that can summon ghosts. Is that what this is? Weird. I'm not scared of these at all. And she just gives it a little face on it. No, that is actually kind of adorable, though. Hey, wait. Okay, well, that kind of adds on to what I said a moment ago. But the level that she might be screwing with him right now is very high. It's not unlikely that she's being serious, but I feel she's also screwing with him just a little bit. Did this man actually just give genuine reasoning? Like, he's actually thinking of the reason that this is a thing is because of what she just told him. And that's a weird contrast to reality because, like, think about real horror and real ghost stories and stuff. Like, the amount of paranormal or spectral horror we had went from, like, down here in the 90s and early 2000s to all the way up here in the modern day. And slashers are now what's down here compared to where it was up here back then. It's really weird, too. I kind of feel like that's kind of more of a nudge towards the, and I'm going to use this terminology here, the pussy generation we have. Because, like, if you just put it out there that all the ghosts and specters and spooky things are out there, and then you remind them, oh, most of this isn't real, they'll just be like, oh, okay, and then move on with themselves. But if you put out, like, slashers and serial killer stuff, even the, like, make-believe ones like a Jason or a Freddy, you know, those are things people are more genuinely afraid of because it can happen. That's probably why the number of them have went down so very far over recent history. And, like, can we turn that back around? Because, don't get me wrong, I love a good ghost horror movie, or a good specter-based horror movie, but there's one problem with a majority of those. They always do the animals so dirty in those kind of movies. Like, this is just a 2-minute soapbox I'm going to get on real quick. We don't need animals to perish in a spectral-based horror movie. We don't. It just does not need to be a thing. You know, just 2 I've seen in recent history I can point out for that, and I'm giving this as spoilers as a forewarning to people. Obsession, first 5 minutes, dude's cat is dead. That's not because of the horror movie type aspects, it just happens. But it was so fucking depressing to see. And the way they brought it back up at least 2 times after the fact, in the most fucked up kind of ways, horrible. Like, overall, the movie was not worth as much hype as it got. Like, she did a phenomenal job, don't get me wrong. Like, most of the cast did a phenomenal job. But the fact the actual, horror part didn't happen until, like, half an hour to the end of the movie, and the rest was just your suspense thriller stuff. I feel like it kind of lost the edge for me and knocked down more points because of the animal death thing. Like, just saying. Like, I feel like more of the movie could have been like that last half hour, and it would have been so much better. Like, the supernatural stuff, really cool. That phone call scene, honestly, creeped me out. But, and then we talk about Evil Dead Burn, and I think there's probably similar things in the last 2 installments as well, to where, when somebody was getting the most possessed, he raged and killed the dog, and that was super depressing. And I know, again, spoiler, but these are spoilers that are called for. Like, spoilers that are called for in any movie ever are things that will trigger people, actually trigger people, not like your modern day equivalent of, is that a slur? I'm triggered. No, I mean actually being triggered, like seeing an animal be brutally killed. But this is also the generation who still lets Hassan have a job after the dog thing. That's my soapbox. Back to the show. And he's laying into her now about the first thing that could have scared me in years was your will-o-wisp little ghostly things. And no, do it again. Do it better. This basically is turning into, I'ma help you. I'ma help you get good at scaring people. If you can make me shit myself, you win. That probably is what he's gonna say too. I'm probably not even paraphrasing. That's probably what's about to happen. I'll come back and pause if that is. See, he's contemplating what it would make him if he helped return fear into people's lives. And this is another small soapbox moment of, we need more fear in our lives, both in general and of repercussions of things. There is not enough of that these days, and that's why so many people get away with the things they do. This is actually going to be a good show to be able to talk about this kind of shit, and honestly, I'm here for it. Because, man, listen, if more people were afraid of consequences, less shit would happen that happens. Like, I won't go into specific detail, like, those of y'all that are on a logical mindset know exactly the kind of things I'm talking about. But this is the kind of thing that actually might help, return fear into people, whether it be just from ghosts, ghouls, spooks, specters, whatever. Or in the way of what I'm talking about of punishment. Because, hey, listen, if you commit a crime, you should receive a punishment. Not like just be like, oh, okay. I won't go too much into detail with that. I feel like I shouldn't have to, because if y'all on the correct side of things, y'all know what I'm talking about here. But no. Because even without fearing ghosts or anything, there are many worse things to fear than ghosts. So just let them fear ghosts, because maybe they'll like help. No, that's true though. Though I think she's taking offense to that. Which honestly, based, but he's kind of right. She is way scarier than those little wisps that were flying around him. Like, soon as she turned around, he almost shit himself, so. And I won't lie, like, reflecting back on me comparing her to the guy from Gachi no Kuda, I honestly kind of thought the first time I saw the art for that show that it was going to be a horror show, not a shonen show. She's strong. Apparently he thinks she's strong too. Why is he calling her that? Is that her actual name, or is she just, like, accepting herself to be called that? Okay, apparently it's just her nickname. No, but fam, come on. You can't tell me. I'm sorry, hold on. Like, the fact I keep seeing her face, now I kind of want to. Like, yeah, come on. I don't know if I have this angled properly, but y'all see it, right? Actually, for her case, that's great research. I'm not even gonna lie. Am I based for thinking I wouldn't mind well, a woman just appearing to tell me scary stories? I was gonna say cute woman, but in her case, it might be prospectively. I guess she's kind of cute. I guess. But also, maybe that's because, like, I'm a fan of horror, so, like, the spooky owl eyes thing isn't as horrifying to me as it could be. Weirdly, that's not how I remember stories like that going. Usually, if you take a step into the extra step, it's you fall into a portal to hell or something like that. That's a lot more intimate. Of course, they're going to use an actual staircase as this. No, she kind of actually has a point, though. Like, a random extra step appearing, a ghost step, if you will, is kind of a thing a lot of people do fear will happen while they're going upstairs. Not for the point of, a spirit of an inmate killing you and sending you to hell or something, but more of the fact of you might trip on that extra step, and depending where it is, you might actually die. Because, like, imagine going upstairs somewhere that you've gone up 100 times before, but you miscount the amount of steps there is by just one, and then you just, and all she wrote. That's what those kind of tales also usually tend to allude to, because, like, you have a, like in this case, 12-step staircase to go up to, your bathroom or your room or whatever. But then instead of doing that, you forget there is actually 13 steps. So you think you're good, and then you just either trip on the ledge of the next step, or you slip on it thinking you're on regular flooring. Oh, because he's going to provide, like, a faux extra step that she's expecting to be there or something. She's going to step right on him, isn't she? No, she's using it as an example for somebody else coming up the stairs. Okay, that's funnier. Little late. The fact he just stood up and yelled at her after getting yelled at by an old man and then it tripped anyway. Listen, that's a skill issue. Like, he knew there were stairs there, so that's a skill issue. That's not how the switching bodies things works. Usually. Like, he's afraid that if he gets snagged in a near-death experience that they'll switch bodies on the way down. That is not how that works. At least I don't think so. Like, I've seen a lot of body switching stuff in TV shows and movies, but I don't think I've ever seen that happen necessarily. You know, like the Freaky Friday thing where two people make a wish at the same time during an electrical outage. Sure, there's that. The thing of two people, like, hitting their head at the same location at the same exact time. Sure, I've seen that. What he's explaining, I don't think I've seen that before. She is extremely physically gifted. Never in America. I'm just saying, this would never happen in America. Like, people falling down the stairs and then, like, 10 different people from around the community just coming in to watch what happened. That would never, ever, ever happen in America, especially these days. Like, also, you know, I'm not going to get into the obvious statement. The obvious statement is just pointless. But yeah, that shit would never happen here. There was way more than 10 people there. Well, yeah, there's a few more than 10 people there. I was about to field a completely different thing, and then I saw this. Hold on. Anyway, before I saw a dartboard on the clock, dude is just a little bit sus, I'm just saying. Like, I don't even have to say what I'm mentioning. Y'all know what I'm mentioning. That's sus. Why? Okay. So, I don't know if those were Kleenex before. They're not now. Okay. The fucking timing of that. And the only statement in his head right now is probably, I'm so fucked up. Okay, sorry. Okay, that's not his mother. That makes it even crazier, actually. I'm the Phantom Thief mother. What the fuck does that even mean? Bitch is Mary Poppins her way out of there. What the fuck is happening in this man's life? Police? Yeah, he probably can only see this guy. Probably some spectral bullshit. Which, honestly, I feel like that might be slightly more terrifying than most ghosts would be. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even if you were in the based female perspective of, you know, hot, muscular man, that would probably still be fucking terrifying. Nope, he is indeed some kind of spirit. There are ghost police, because I feel like the ghost police should be called on this guy. Weirdly prophetic, but he's also kind of right. Weird how that works. Meanwhile, this is all other people are seeing, like, is this boy losing his mind? Do we need to call someone? So, I'm gonna take a quick prediction here on this. He's gonna keep reaching for that loincloth, and inevitably end up touching someone's chest, isn't he? More to the point, he's gonna end up touching the creepy new friend he made's chest. Because listen, I haven't been unaware to the way her uniform curves. I just haven't pointed it out because it's not pointing it out at itself. You are now entirely late. You have missed your entire school day, just saying. And also, so far, in ways, it also kind of feels like Shaman King if the writers didn't turn into a shonen and instead were on drugs. And that is actually even funnier. Meanwhile, she shows up and questions what the fuck he's doing. That last time, he didn't even jump. He just literally turned the other cheek. I'm desperate for happiness, but I don't know if I'd spend several hours trying to touch a guy like that's loincloth just for a little bit of happiness. Like, if I was going to try that long to touch something, it wouldn't be a loincloth. And it wouldn't be for a little bit of happiness. I'm just saying. Then again, I've been trying that hard to touch that for most of my life, so. Yeah, you were. Is she gonna steal this opportunity from him while he's crying about it? Because the fucking big muscular dude in the loincloth's like, do it, my son. Touch it, and you will forever be lucky. And she's just gonna walk over and go, yoink. Okay, no, she just... I couldn't pause it where I was about to. She literally just reached over and forced him to grab it. And that's apparently not all he was grabbing. Huh. You have won the loincloth of good fortune. May luck forever be in your favor. That actually makes this even better that he was on the way to school on a Sunday. I might be a hypocrite for saying this, but that's correct. Because it's all a matter of how your brain has been trained, and sometimes, in my case specifically, you can't train your brain otherwise, so I do kind of more bode towards the misfortune side of things, because I am well aware there are only two things in my life that can make me truly happy again. Might that actually be true? Maybe not. But, like, so far with my life, it seems like a lot of things in my life try to deflect from either of those things happening, so maybe I'm not wrong. But that statement right there is pretty true regardless. But speaking of making things, or making me happy and helping out in the things that would in my life, I'll say this now like I've only gotten a few minutes of. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Smile. Okay, so I thought the thing wasn't recording, but it actually is being recorded. I forgot I muted it when I went on a little coughing tangent a minute ago. So, orange side, apologies about that. Anyway, I was mentioning that she threw the urinal bottle back in his face after he said he used it 2 or 3 months ago. He probably had cleaned it by this point, right? I'd hope. Anyway. Good thing I'd start talking about something else quite yet. Anyway. This show had a very fun opening. It is very interesting. I understand why it's kind of on the low-flying agenda, because like I said earlier, it seems like it's kind of one of those things like Vampire Dies in No Time, which kind of flew under the radar for a very long time. This is very enjoyable. Honestly, it was very funny. I had a lot to talk about. This is what I've said before. If I'm almost at an hour of recording time, I obviously liked the show or had a lot to talk about. And, like, there are some cases where if a show is not almost an hour long, that doesn't mean I don't like the show. Like, I'm editing down the rest of My Hero, and those really are not long recordings. But for a shonen, how is something supposed to be a long recording process? I feel like I did similar when I did the previous seasons of My Hero, or when I did Dragon Ball Super. Because shonen shows are kind of hard to, like, pause and talk about things for, unless it's, like, plot-relevant stuff. And then that last season of My Hero, there was not a lot of plot-relevant stuff. It was mostly the fighting, so I didn't get much opportunity to talk. But shows like this, yeah, no, this is glorious for talking about stuff, whether it be the comedy or the characters or the art style or whatever. Shows like this are great for that, and honestly, I look forward to watching more of this. This was a fun start, and I look forward to seeing more. And I might check out another thing or two instead of continuing this. I might just continue this. We'll see. I have a little bit of time probably before I gotta attend to anything else. So, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Whether you're watching on your own time, whether you just checked out some of it with me. You know, if you want to see more of it and don't have a Crunchyroll subscription, just saying that the Patreon. Yeah, fuck, I may as well start advertising it like that more now, shouldn't I? Anyway, that said, let me know your thoughts on the show, and let me know about any other shows, movies, etc. I should check out this season, next season, or in general. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the other channels, ring bells like Facebook, follow, Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Patreon, and Twitch. Subscribe to Patreon and Twitch. Twitch, not sure what I can give y'all, but hey, maybe if you subscribe to Twitch, I can also give you select episodes from the Patreon just as personal links. Don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but we can always find out. But on topic, hey, if you subscribe to the Patreon, you get every single anime I cover in full, not added in unless it's anything I know I have to edit out. And I'm just saying, man, $5 a month is a lot cheaper than half of these subscription services. So, anyway, that all being said, it's been the Blaze King with King's Critique. So, ta-ta for now. Peace.